Welcome to Mind of Mashiach. Today we're going to talk about the origins of mind control. It is assumed by many that the origins of mind control began in Europe by Nazi war criminal Dr. Joseph Mengele, also known as the Doctor of Death. Mengele is alleged to have used mind control as part of his very unethical medical experiments on World War II prisoners, including his experiments on twins. It has also been alleged that Mengele continued his unethical mind control experimentation on subjects at various locations on United States soil, including the famed Stanford Research Institute located in Menlo Park, California. In the 1940s, Allen Dulles, founder of the Central Intelligence Agency, also known as the CIA, approved a mind control project called MKUltra, which was a top-secret CIA program for covert use of biological and chemical materials. This includes methods such as electroshock therapy, hypnosis, polygraphs, radiation, and a variety of drug and chemical therapies. The CIA reportedly relied on a range of human test subjects, some of whom freely volunteered for the program, while others volunteered under coercion or incentives, such as prison inmates who volunteered to shorten their sentences. The late former organized crime boss, Whitey Bulger, was reportedly a test subject of the CIA's MKUltra and alleges that he was administered LSD and worked undercover as a CIA asset. But were you aware that mind control did not originate on American or even European soil? Some of the earliest discovered writings suggest that techniques that are used in modern mind control actually originated in ancient Egypt and are found in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The Egyptian Book of the Dead describes methods of torture such as administering drugs to subjects, forcing them to drink blood, and torturing them as an initial means to take their minds captive. The apocryphal book of Jasher details how the children of Israel were tortured by being forced to kill their own infants by placing them in walls and plastering over them if the Israelite in question did not make the prescribed number of bricks in a given day. This form of torture easily fits into any mind control program. Historical records indicate that when the Grecian Empire, led by Alexander the Great, invaded and conquered Egypt in 332 BC, they took a great deal of Egyptian art, technologies, literature, and more, often putting their own Grecian veneer on Egyptian creations. When the Romans conquered the Grecians in 27 BC, this practice of renaming the art, technologies, and literature continued. It's highly likely that Grecians and Romans reverse engineered the Egyptian Book of the Dead to enhance mind control techniques that other Europeans have leveraged and enhanced over time. So you may be asking, what relevance is this little history lesson has on how mind control has its origins in Egypt? Here's the connection. While the practice of slavery has been around since the beginning of civilization, mind control techniques for dominating people was simultaneously created. Chapter 16 in the book of Genesis gives one of the first accounts of slavery when Sarah, the wife of Abraham, forces her servant Hagar to marry Abraham and to become impregnated by him. This is really reminiscent of slavery practices in the antebellum South, when so-called blacks had no legal rights and a white slave master could force himself on a slave, or could make a slave have sex with a white family member, a guest, or breed them with another slave. But according to the book of Galatians, in the New Testament, we reap a harvest from the seeds we've sown. Galatians 6:7 reads, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap." Considering this scripture, could it be that the injustice of Sarah, the wife of Abraham, forcing her young Egyptian slave Hagar into a sexual relationship with her husband and breeding her to have a son for Sarah, only for Sarah to unexpectedly find herself pregnant, and eventually expelling Hagar and her son from the household, have been the seeds planted that later resulted in a harvest of Israelites being enslaved by Egyptians hundreds of years later? Is it possible that the mind control that Egyptians placed on their Israelite slaves was never broken? The pages of the Holy Bible are silent as it relates to why the children of Israel were a stiff-necked people and why they repeatedly made the same mistakes and blatantly sinned even though they were promised great things for their obedience to God. Fast forward today, one must ask why the descendants of slaves in the Americas, the Caribbean, and throughout the world still operate like Israelites in the Old Testament did. Could it be that the curse for slavery that originated with Abraham and Sarah was never addressed or broken? Maybe we should consider that the mind control techniques that trace all the way back to ancient Egypt are alive and well in many people today, and if they are to break free, it must be addressed. Please don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. And make sure you click the notification bell to make sure you receive alerts when I upload a video. Until next time, be open to change if it will lead you to something positive, especially if it makes you uncomfortable.